So if you can hear me, okay, thank you. I will call unbiased.
Okay.
Okay,
I don't see you, but I may be lagging.
Okay, you guys, are you there? If you can see me and hear me, put a one in, please. If you're there, can you see me?
I see your avatar. Okay, I see you there. Okay.
Whoa.
Okay.
Vintage Joe sends me right back. Okay. Sorry about that, you guys. I don't know what in the world happened, but life happens, doesn't it? Mike said, yay. Maria Graham was waiting. Vintage Style by Joe. Oh, that was ugly. Thank you, guys. My loyal, dedicated family. I'll tell you what happened today, though. Thank you for waiting. I I love angels. I collect brown angels. I went to a meeting today, and there was a lady there who is one of my neighbors, and she gave me two things. I think they belong to her mother or her grandmother. Hey, Guns, thank you for coming and welcome, welcome, welcome. And she gave me this little lady, and I thought she was cute. I think it's a pincushion. It feels like a pincushion, but it must have been her mother's or grandmother's. This lady in the Jewish tradition, and they pass things down to the daughters. Well, she doesn't have any daughters. And I think I'm probably the only one or two, one of a handful of friends. So she gave me this little doll. Nikki, the everyday life of an OCD is chick. Butter Roll Boutique. Anybody I didn't see when I was stuck in the bushes? Child. That was stressful. And then look at this little angel. I thought this was cute. I had an angel my sister Joanne gave me when I woke up from a coma 10 years ago. Well, my great granddaughter was in a very bad tractor trailer car accident a couple of weeks ago, and I took this angel who has been by my side from my sister Joanne to the ICU at Yale, and I gave it to my great granddaughter. I would love to have it back. She doesn't need it anymore. I'm still needing angels. Well, every angel's watching over me. Trying to see what's in the bottom of here. Feels like cardboard. But I thought this was sweet of this lady to give this to me. So, how is everybody doing? How are you really, really doing? Mrs. D, thank you for coming and welcome. So, what are you guys who? Oh, we were talking about the G in GQUAT, and I showed you my dried comfrey that I'm going to make a comfrey salve. I waited until I was 70 years old, 70 something years old, to get eczema on my elbow. And this is horrible, horrible scar. So I'm hoping that will help with that, or at least help it to heal and stop breaking out. If there's anybody I didn't see when I was swimming in the darkness, thank you for waiting. Now, it's already getting cold here in Connecticut. Black Guns, we didn't even have a minute, a minute of summer. I want to tell you guys a funny story. Black Guns and Gardens reminded me of something that happened today. So I was driving. I do drive occasionally, and the lights was on. It's been on in that car, but it doesn't get driven very often. And it said that the tires were low, and the computer tells you the air in each tire. So I went to the tire shop, and the guy the guy told me to come around, so I went around. And but when I was walking, the old lady looks like the old lady from Bugs Bunny, doesn't it? But when somebody gives you something, I it's a blessing. It's a blessing. And everybody can use an angel if you believe in angels. So I was walking up to where the car was. The handicap space was not in front of the building, it was up further. So there was a guy walking in back of me, and I could tell he was walking at a faster pace than I was, and with purpose. You can tell when somebody is striding. I just politely stepped to the side, looked him dead in the eye, and said, "Go ahead." I said, I don't like people walking in back of me. I said, I want them to see that I see them and wonder what I got. You know, Mrs. D's garden said prayers for my great grand. She's actually doing really, really well. Has a birthday coming up soon. So the guy kind of laughed. He says, I don't blame you, miss. I don't like people walking in the back of me either. So I gave him the sidewalk. Then I pulled around to where the gentleman was going to put the air in my tires, and there was somebody else inside, and he was talking to the other guys. You never know who hears you or sees you, right? And the guy said a bad word in Spanish. So he came out, he was walking. I said, excuse me. Said, now I was telling him that I speak Spanish fluently. I heard what he said. I said, you never know who's watching you, who's hearing you. He laughed. He covered up his face, and but I waited until he was close enough where he could get to like where my grandma was and thump your ear. So he kind of laughed about that. So going to back to the G in the QUAT, we're talking about gardening. And I started this last year. It's fermented garlic. Well, you put the garlic in honey. This is garlic in honey, pure, local, unpasteurized honey. When I wanted it to stop working after a year, I put it in the refrigerator. Black Guns and Gardens said, that's right, Auntie. Yes, yes, yes. I wonder if I could show you, if I'll get in trouble for it. No, I'm going to do what I want to do. It's my channel. They take this one down, they just take it down. But I want you to see something else. So, most of you know, most of you know that my son is into martial arts, very 2A, whatever, whatever. And he told me about a product. It is a pepper gel. It comes with a holster and it has dye in it. It is it is amazing. I said, well, Maria Graham said she's glad Simone is feeling better. Thank you. And I said, Aaron, why would you need that? When he suggested that I buy this product, or actually he bought it for me, he said because um, in spite of my boxing, my black belt in martial arts, he teaches. Oh yeah, could you hit the like button? I don't know if I hit the like button myself. I had so much trouble getting on. But going back to my son, I said, why would you need, a pepper spray? And this is the type of pepper spray. It doesn't come back in your face. It's a gel. So it sticks wherever it's going. You're usually the Google translator when people are speaking other languages in front of you. I want to know what's speaking. I use the Russian translator a lot because a lot of people in my building are rushing. And when I'm doing official things, like for tenant stuff in the building, we actually hire a translator. So I'm going to live stream. Boy, that this was something today. So I don't need history. Going to the channel, going into the live. Hold on, you guys, because I want to see what you're doing. Okay. So this is what it is. If anybody would if anybody would like it, you can email me, ellenpankey at gmail.com. And I asked him, this guy is like Navy SEAL. Uh, he could go into the Navy SEALs today. He's too old for it. But he says, even though I have a conceal and carry, even though certified, those in the 2A community in Los Angeles know him, know who he is. But then some of the people like Tarsha, um, GG Naturals, that they know him and they know of his capabilities. But he said sometimes you're outnumbered. Okay, so don't think that because you have a permit to carry something, when folks come for you, trust and believe. They know what you're capable of. If they're watching you, they didn't just stumble up on you randomly. They are coming prepared, and you need to be prepared too. So this product actually has a red dye in it, so it stains the face, hands, whatever of whoever is sprayed. So it says it's the number one brand used by the Popo. Okay. And it says warning, severe irritant, contents under pressure. See other warnings on back. Well, that's enough for me. Mess around and find out. Walking up on Nana, you don't want that. Sissy, I'm going to get you one. Yeah, exactly, Mike. Non-lethal options as well. So now going back to the gardening, I want to show you my fermented garlic. Do you see how dark this is? This is like molasses. So, and this is actually homegrown garlic, hardneck garlic that I grew in my garden, I want to say 3 years ago, because it took me a year to harvest it, 2 years, and then it went up to 1 year because I fermented it. I don't have a spoon here and I don't want to stick my fingers in and fish it out. But when cold and flu season comes, this is what I will be taking. The Nicky Nick is laughing at him. Don't walk up on Auntie. No, 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 no. And you never know what else she has. So I want to go through some mail. I received this catalog, Wawak, for those of you. So this is, oh, and by the way, unbiased, thank you. She called her dear old nanny to see if I was okay, but I had my phone turned off so that it wouldn't knock me off the channel. but I called her and she kind of told me what to do. Good in barbecue sauce, I bet. I bet it is too. Except I'm just going to eat it straight up. So Wawak is a sewing source. I had looked at them online, but when I was scrolling through here, they have industrial racks, they have binders. Some of the pages I turned down, like for embroidery, I love Madeira thread. I also use another one that I will tell you, but it's very expensive now. Straight pins, ball pins. They have uh, all kinds of different threads, not just embroidery threads. I'm going to the tapes that you use for measuring seams. They have waistband elastic, specialty bindings, elbow patches for those of you working on clothes, all kinds of buttons, zippers, snaps, and they're really cheap. Repair kits for making things. So I just wanted you to know, those of you who have never used it, this page is turned down. Premium zippers. I turned a few of them down. Oh, Isocord. This is the thread that I started when I first got my embroidery machine. They were $6 each then, and my mother came to sometimes less lethal options are required. Well, sometimes you have to use less lethal options if there is a danger of injuring innocent bystanders. You know, there could be children around, there could be people moving around, and something could happen. So, and like you said, there's more than one, and you don't have a clip or something. Well, anyway, it's just good to have options. I do. I used to go to apothecary shops, famous, but now I usually make a lot of my own stuff. I I ferment, I infuse, and I have been for a really long time. Let me see. I put the book up um, about about herbs, everything you sorry about my back. Everything you wanted to know about herbs, all the different blends. I've been into herbs for 50, 60 years. And I have like books of encyclopedias of natural medicine, the giant kitchen counter of cures, eat right for your blood type, all kinds of other fit for life. It's about different ways of intermittent fasting, low fat soul food, all kinds of stuff. But that's what I've been into. Pescatarian. Your card didn't go out yet. I was showing it to people at my meeting today. I usually mail on Mondays, but when my helper didn't, when my helper went to the post office, Maria Graham got her big old box, but I didn't take yours because I was waiting for LGG Love's information. She sent it on Tuesday, so it will go out on Monday. Okay. Oh, something came up. Try raspberry lemonade. I have so many wild raspberries out there. My blackberries are getting ripe. This is a book. One of my neighbors, one of my friends, I finally remembered to bring a check so that I could buy it. And we were sitting there in another meeting, and she told me to read the inside. And she's a writer. Two of my best friends here are writers. I'm supposed to be writing a book if I ever get it done. Copyright 2022 by Jareen Freeman. And there are a collection of short stories, and it's really interesting. Celebrate to Magic of Black Women, Jareen. And it says, to my mother, Dorothy Lee Percy Freeman, and all the other strong warrior women on whose shoulders I stand. And then she says a name, her paternal great grandmother, Mary, her maternal grandmother, her her paternal grandmother, and all of her aunts. Thank you all for your love, faith, sacrifice, strength, and inspiration. I love you and I miss you. I thought that was really nice. And I think about you guys. Not everybody has an Auntie Ellen in their life who you can go to my house anytime. People always say, oh, you're so funny. You're so funny. Well, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. You can say some of the hardest things to hear. Hey, Nancy, our treasured home. I see that Anastasia got her postcard and she loves it. Anastasia is Nancy's granddaughter. And we love each other a lot, a lot, a lot. So when you come to visit my house, wherever I go, I try to show you, not tell you, what kind of a person I am. You can, like, people will say I'm a Christian, I'm a this, I'm you name something, but it's how you present yourself to others. I'm not an angel all the time. Hey, David. David says, hey, GQUAT. Good evening, everyone. And hope this message is fine. When David jumped in, the chat started jumping, the joints started jumping. We have a lot of fun at night on some of the channels. So this is a collection of short stories. Maybe that's what I should write. I have 6 living generations of family, and we do different things. Like, I can walk in the room and the 5-year-old will be sitting there and I start singing my nana nana banana fanana fana, and then he'll start singing the song. Or my oldest grandson will be 30 in September. And as soon as he hears my voice, and he has a deep voice, my son has a deep voice. And when he goes, hello, hey, Nana. And then the first thing he does is laugh because he knows we're going to have something to smile about in the conversation. David is saying, what up, Donzel? Sometimes Donzel says, I'm an avid book reader. Yes, I've read all these books. And behind here, Nikki, this is actually the green screen you told me to buy when I first got live, and it's folded into quarters, and I use it for holding fabrics for and quilts and things. All these books back here have been read. Some of it's about art, some of it is about business. I gave away a book today. It was about conservatorship. And people were saying, well, I don't need that. Well, when you're taking care of people or involved with wills, trusts, and estate planning, these are some of the things you need to know. And they actually had a list of questions. For example, if you have someone who's going into a senior nursing facility, the questions you should ask, the things that you look for, the safety features that they have, the backup arrangements. This isn't funny, but I'm going to tell you a secret, right? So, one of the neighbors, someone finally found out, my hair is sticking up, that they hadn't seen him in a couple days. Well, they called the paramedics. No need to call them. All they need is an autopsy. I mean, a death report, because even though the person's there with rigor mortis set in, they're not dead until the police declare them dead or someone else. So oh, you love Kelly Green? That's pretty. That's a pretty color. Oh, this color, this Kelly green. Oh, I just use it for a design wall. I have so many little design walls around here. I've been changing things around. Still putting up still putting up the quilting frame and unbiased. I promise you this week I'm taking out my embroidery machine and hook it up. I've already put some fabric and some stabilizer in there, and I'm going to resize the label that you made for me, the denim one, and I'm going to make some because I like the one you put in your bags. I am going to make it smaller because it's almost like this one. We copied yours, Crafty and I, and this is, oh, you guys, this is the journal cover that I made the last couple of weeks. So after we left, these are leftover jeans. I sewed it together live, and then I put this big strap on it. My helper said, Mrs. Ellen, it's too big. You should put a small one. But I did this for a reason, because sometimes where I go, where I'm going to be using this book, I put things inside and I don't want it to fall out. I don't want it to fall out. This is a leather pocket. The pen pocket holds more than one pen. Oh, I'll show you what I did. Last week, after I cut this off, it was too short. You couldn't see it when I put it in the middle of the journal. I usually buy journals this time of year at Wally World for 50 cents, a whole bunch of them, but I don't know if they're going to be 50 cents this year. So, this leather piece I cut off, and look what happened. It was too short. I could barely see it. I like when it's hanging down. So, what did I do? I sewed it back on. This journal is for nobody but me. You see this, unbiased? It's not perfect, but guess what? It works perfectly. So I put it there. And when I went to this meeting today, the lady sitting right next to me said she liked it. I had an extra pen. We were doing something, designing, and I had a space in this particular pocket for a pencil. So we were making some posters for something. So this is probably similarly how I will print my book when I get some chapters in about my grandmothers and my sister. I really am. I'm a crafter, David, and I love creating art. I really, really do. Maria Graham said that came out nice, Auntie. Thank you. So this one lady wanted one, but I was working on one. One was already finished, and I told her I will have one for sale. Girl, Dad, I'm so busy watching your cooking and your plating this and that, and I give the thumbs up on all of them, but I watch on TV and I don't really get to the others. Those who view who like this journal, I these were leftover pants from that I deboned. I actually have some legs down there. I know David wants a denim quilt. He ain't collecting no jeans and helping cut them up. You cut them up, David, and debone them and get them started. Save you a plate. I will save you a plate. You know what? Honestly, if something went down with the taco tariffs, and everything went down again, I bet I could live until the next election with the food that I have in here. Greenland Quilter Katie, thanks for coming. For you guys that don't know, Quilter Katie lives in Greenland, and she does tours. She goes out on these boats and shows the terrain. Her husband works on a ship. It is so interesting. You guys put exclamation mark GQUAT. David, you're going to surprise me? Come on. I was talking to somebody at a meeting today, and I was talking about the problems I'm having with my new natural locked hairstyle. And she was telling me, I was admiring her hair. And she says, "Oh, I can do that. You're losing one over there." I said, "Yeah, my hair is soft. This one is falling off." And she was saying she could fix it. She has a crochet hook. And I was saying, I said, I will pay you. And she says, "No, you don't have to pay me." I said, "Okay, we'll barter." She wants to learn how to quilt. We'll take some quilting time. Just say, "I got you, David." David, I shouldn't even tell you how much oxtail is back there. I don't even go in that freezer. It's a small freezer in my bedroom. I have meats that are canned. I have dry goods. My baby sister came last week to get one thing, and I gave her a bag of some other stuff. And I said, "Your husband made black beans and rice today? Oh, you go, Maria." I haven't made any beans in a couple of weeks. And like in the beginning of the year, black eyed peas were hard to find. Oh my goodness. There were none in the stores. I tried to get some on Amazon, and I couldn't. When I finally went down to the part of the city where they have those beans and stuff every day, got a lot of them. So I had 2 packs of the small lima beans because I couldn't find any. I gave my sister, my baby sister Della, a pack of those. I gave her some black eyed peas, some pinto beans that we grew up on, navy beans. I don't know if she particularly likes black beans, but I do. You're in a room full of cooks. Yep, yep. Everybody in my family can cook. Everybody. So I think I talked about all of the stuff over here right now. So let's go over and create something. Whew, I talked up a storm. And you guys, when I make like oatmeal cookies or something like that, I cook I cook like the Costco bag of oatmeal. You love that old bartering system? I do too. I do too. So I want to thank each and every one of you. So we are going to go over to a project where, excuse me, my allergies are acting up. I made a king size denim quilt for my mother. It was 112 inches wide. She has a 4-poster bed that's up high, and it was 96 inches long. So some of the squares that I made, Maria Graham, if you want to look for big blocks, there's a quilt called Turning 20. I do a variation of that block, and I end up with 18-inch blocks. So I cut all the pieces out. And then I had leftover long pieces. I started off to make a journal cover, and I hate when I try to go into like YouTube or something and they tell, "Do you want to see this? Do you want to see this?" Or if you go to Temu, is it Temu, and no, I want you to just freaking tell me. I said fricking. I didn't say the bad word. Somebody thought I did one time. And just give me the price on what I asked for. I don't want to go through all that. Spin this, spin that, spin my finger. Oops. No, I didn't, Mother. Hi, Mommy. I wasn't being bad again. So now I'm trying to find the channel so I can get to the live stream and see what you all are saying. I don't know if, well, it's over there in my cart. I don't know if LGG Love saw how I fancied up her her card because she told me she's going to give it to her daughter. So I'm just gonna turn the screen off just for 1 second while I turn this around quickly so that you don't get dizzy. So, whoops, I was moving too fast. I lost my balance. There we are. So now I'm coming over here, and because of Mike, he always wants to get up close to me. I have, I have a Mrs. D's guard saying, "Hello, Mom." Miss, the kids try to see who's going to be the closest to Nana. So, what is going on over here is this is very interesting. So, the name of this quilt, it's a small quilt. It's an art quilt. I don't know if you could see. Oh, okay, so over here, I live in this place. I do everything in it. The This is a chalk drawing of my favorite jeans jacket. It's like 40 inches by 30 inches. It's you can't see the photo of my mom above that. This is a wood burning of my dad. I didn't do it. One of my sister Joanne's friends from, I think, Senegal or Gambia, she has a lot of like eating bowls. The family's eating the big bowls over there. Oh, and there is up there a, a small art quilt up there on the wall that's made with beaded fabrics and whatnot. So, thank you, thank you, thank you. So, why did I tangle my thread up? This is my goat's bell, lilac. I'm going to put my phone in a holder and show you grandma's hands. So, my dad's grandmother was a farmer, and she worked in North Carolina on the farm. She did canning, all the stuff, quilting, all by hand. I think at one point she got a treadle sewing machine, but most of the time her and my aunts sewed by hand. Is there enough light for you guys? I don't want to open the blinds anymore because you know what happens? The backdrop gets overlit. Overlit. So, all right, I'm pulling this out where I tangled my thread. And let me show you grandma's hands. So, here are some 2-inch strips that I cut, and I'll show you the progress on grandma's hands. Okay. Well, here we go. Okay, so so this is kind of built on the type of quilt from G's Bend. I want you to see all these tiny stitches and bits and pieces, the old fashioned way of quilting. So, one of my grandmothers, I told you, worked a lot with her hands on the farm. We all did. I mean, when I said worked, whether we had a garden in Connecticut, whatever, then my mother's grandmother was a Native American healer in Pennsylvania. And that's what the sign is. Looks like it's upside down for a healer. It actually looks like that. So I've got that applique on. So the only thing I have left to do, how could I lose my tape measure? Maria Graham probably knows where it is. Okay, so let me move over because I just need to cut. Of course, it's neatly filed on the floor. It's not a live stream if I don't have something on the floor. So I don't know if you can see the back of the sofa. David, this is where you're sleeping when you get here. This is an 8-foot sofa, you guys. And it's very wide. In fact, it's so wide it won't fit in the door. And it had to be disassembled, and it has a steel bottom on it, and the steel bottom had to be taken loose, then the leather part brought in separately. Okay, so this is what you do. You measure across. Well, I'm going to put the sides on first. So maybe figuring out how to get you guys close to me. I'm going to put this one back. And I'm going to measure this side piece. I'll tell you why in a minute. So whenever you put borders on, you measure each side separately. Why? Because they're not always even. Deb S., the pug mom, how are you doing? So this is, I already knew it, but I'm just checking. 23 and a half. Let me see if the other side is 23 and a half. Let's see, because that's the size. Now, one is like a scant 23 and a half, if that makes any sense. The other is a full 23 and a half. So I'm going to use these 2 light jean strips, and I'm going to, Maria Graham, I'm putting this on the pillow over there. Because why? My table over there is being used. I'm putting up my cutie frame, and everything is a mess, a stinking mess. Oh, so this is interesting. These 2 are not the same. These are from, I guess, 2 different pairs of jeans. Can you see the different color? I like that. I like that. I like that this piece has all these different fabrics and bits and pieces. So again, I thought it was too nice for a notebook cover, so I just used some plain squares for that. This one, instead of using my rotary cutter in this tight space, I'm just going to use my tailoring shears and straighten it. Why? Because my grandmothers never had rotary cutters and fancy rulers. They probably only had a tape measure, and that's it. So of course it's neatly filed back on the floor again. So let me cut these 2 strips 23 and a half inches, not centimeters. Some of you use the metric system in other countries. So I'm going to use, this is funny, unbiased. You see this tailor's chaw? It is used down to that last little itty bitty piece. And I usually keep it under my sewing machine because it's just convenient. The bigger ones always end up moving somewhere or getting borrowed or something. So this end is even with this one. This end is even with this one. I'm folding it, and I'm just going to cut it with my scissors. My grandmothers and the people in G's bed, people in the country, never had that fancy, any of that fancy stuff. Measuring a yard, You put the fabric on your nose here and put your hand out. That was a yard. Men used to measure distances with their feet. My dad could pretty much walk. He was in construction. He could walk and tell you almost to the inch what size the room was. Of course, he used his other equipment. So these two strips are going on the side, and we are going to finish this tonight. So I'm going to put right sides together. I'm actually looking at this fabric to see. See, I thought I was going to use that one, but this is actually the right side of the jeans. So this doesn't have a lot of seams. I'm going to put a pin on this edge. And when I pin, I go up, down a couple of times. Why do I do that? Because sometimes just going pinning through one time, it will come loose. So then I go, uh-oh, something is wrong. Yeah, something is wrong. I'm putting it on the wrong side. Okay. So let's back up and go to the side I'm supposed to be pinning, which is this one. Okay, so again, I'm going to pin one side. What you actually do is fold it in the middle. When you're putting a side on, you find the middle of the piece that you're putting on and put a little pin there. I was just going to quickly do it, but I'm going to show you guys the right way to put it on, especially some of you who are making big fancy quilts. And so this is the middle of the strip here. I'm going to check and find the exact middle of the side I'm pinning it on. Trust me, my grandmothers never did all that. I'm putting a little crease so that I can see where the middle is. And I'm going to pin the other end. Now, the reason you do that is because sometimes the side is wobbly, it's not straight. So you want the strip to be evenly dispersed in the middle. You do that with purses when you're making handles and attaching them. You do the same thing. So I can see this pin on the inside and this pin on the other side are lining up. So we're in pretty good shape. Sometimes that doesn't happen. So what you have to do is ease the side that might be a little bit longer. You can stretch it a little bit and ease it in. I see these two are even. So the extra pin that I just double checked on, I'm going to take out this time. Sometimes you leave it in because it isn't. They don't meet. You see, this one is a little bit stretchy. So I will ease that in. So let's sew. Let's sew. Let me see if I can catch up with the chat. Back that thing up. You guys are so funny. Back that thing up. Yardsticks. Yes, I have yardsticks over there. That's what they used to use. T-Hop. Thanks. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If there's anybody in here I didn't see when I was dingling around, Maddie Barnum. Thank you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Donzel Cooper says, so pretty. I'm backing up to see what you guys said. You can see it. So I just love this denim, you guys. I don't have a denim quilt. I'm going to make one. It won't be a big one. I want one that I could take with me on trips, in the car. And I'm using a gold thread. I don't need it for this part, but I'm using it because when I do some top stitching, sometimes you get denim, it has gold top stitching. Sometimes you get orange top stitching. And that book that I was just showing you, Wawak, that was one of the things that I saw. They actually had special thread for sewing denim for top stitching. This, I'm just using what I have, in a color. But if I were to buy some, I would try it. Some will, some won't. Some do, some don't. I might try almost anything. Unbiased and Joanna acting up over there, just like when she said I allegedly. So let me see. I'm going to do a straight stitch, number 3. It was on a 3 with. We doesn't want that doing. We don't want that. So this denim is pretty thick, and I'll be sewing over a lot of seams. So let's go. This is going to be so nice, and this is going to finish it tonight. I've been working on it over a couple of different weeks. So I'm not pinning everything. I'm actually a pinner. I pin every few inches, but I'm not doing this because I'm living on the edge like unbiased. No, I'm just kidding. I'm doing it because I want to show you a way of old school quilting where you don't have to have everything pinned and all the quilting rules and laws. There is a group talking about the in quilting. It's called the I Don't Care Club. So we're doing a I Don't Care Club. Oh, I have a denim duffel. Well, I have a duffel bag, but I gave it to my daughter and granddaughter. You'll cut your denim squares tomorrow, unbiased, and start on it. I have I have bins of stuff in different stages of deboning and cutting because it makes a lot of lint, y'all. It makes a lot of lint. Now, I normally make quarter-inch seams, but on this, I'm making it or sometimes it's a scant quarter-inch. If you ever do a pattern like you got from a book, always do a scant quarter-inch. I don't know why, but it'll come out better. All the years I've been quilting, if you use a scant quarter-inch, now I'm using a full quarter-inch. Now, when I pulled that pin out, I know this side has a lot of seams in it, and it's a little more wavy than the other side. So I want to be able to catch all those fat seams. Oh, this is exciting because I'm keeping this for show quilt, and it's a legacy type thing. Oh, unbiased. Oh, unbiased. I am going to make a denim label this week, maybe Tuesday while you're live, and it will say the name of this quilt, which is Grandma's Hands. And I'll show you where I'm going to put it before I quilt it, where I'm going to put the embroidered piece. So now I'm pulling this a little bit to make it end up with the edges exactly in the same place. Oh, somebody asked me, I don't know if you can see it, about, well, this is a quilt of Africa of all 54, 55 states, and each state is in a different African fabric. But someone saw the edge of that poster up there. That poster is actually a poster of the original quilt called The Color Purple. by Faith Ringgold. She's an African American quilter who just recently passed away. She was an artist in New York, but each of those blocks were hand painted and handwritten. And I'm not going to read what it says. When Harpo touched my, unmentionable part and all this other stuff, that all that. My sister Joanne bought it for me at the African American Museum in LA, and we were down there. Well, this was, oh my gosh, this must have been in the 1990s, y'all. So now back up, back up. Now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Got these big old scissors in my hand. Well, grandma, oh, grandma didn't have all those size scissors, but I want to tell you something. I have a helper. She's from South America, and I'm teaching her to sew. So we got a little kit, right? And it has like the big scissors, not that big, and but they're big scissors, and they had a pair of little scissors in there. So she was doing something, and I said, "Well, do you want to use the small scissors?" She says, "No, in my country, we just use one knife. We didn't have all those fancy knives, all those different, no, I mean scissors." But she also said the same thing about the knives. Like I give her the vegetable peeler, the little fancy vegetable peeler. She doesn't use that. She uses the big butcher knife to peel her potatoes and carrots and everything. So then she if we cut cabbage or something, you know what she uses? She uses a steak knife, like a small serrated knife, and she can cut it finer than any KitchenAid you ever saw. So I'm gonna hold this up to the light in back of me since it's so bright and see which side of the denim that I'm gonna use for the right side. And oh, this is nice, you guys. I'll show it to you, but look at the contrast even from here. I don't want to get the thread all tangled up. Just let me get this side sewn on, and I will show it to you. So I'm going to do the same thing, fold it in half, because if I remember, one of these sides was a little bigger, a little small or something. T-hops, I, men sew. I don't know what it is about this country. It seems to put a stigma on men who sew, but in other countries, the men are the ones that did all the tailoring. You go to Savile Row in England, in the UK, all those fancy custom suits, those are Italian suits, they were all made by men. Okay, so that's the side. Okay, so one something. Let me look at this again, you guys. Something. Oh, I see. I put this one on the type. I meant for it to be a darker color, but it's not. So that wasn't the one that I wanted to put on. So now I'm going to remeasure because now the sides are longer. The sides are longer. Oh, just a minute. Measuring. Let's say measure twice and cut once. So this is 27 and a half. So these I'm going to need to be 27 and a half. And I'm only using one of those because I think well, let me ask you. This part with all these colors, I was just going to leave it dark. And I think I still will. Okay. So, you guys, so this is the top. This is the bottom. Put a 2 in the chat if you think I should put denim at the bottom as well. Denim at the bottom as well. So then I don't know if these are going to be long enough. Let me see how long these are. It's a 27 and a half. Why? Because the other one was 23 and a half and I added so many inches. I have 27 and a half, so I can do it. That's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to cut these 27 and a half the old-fashioned way using the tape. I have a yardstick, a lot of them over there, but they're big and clunky. Whoa, this one barely made it. So 27 and a half. This piece was 28. So I just have to cut a half inch off. Whoop, swoop, swoop, swoop. Okay, so now Mike says a 2. All right, so I'm folding this one to find the middle of the strip. I love this piece. I'm going to fold this one and find the middle of it. These were some nice jeans, really thick, very little. They must have been men's jeans, and they're long pieces. They have very little elastic in it. I don't know. A lot of guys don't like a lot of elastic in their pants, but sometimes that little stretch. Oh, what is that brand that makes the men's old Duluth or something? When they're making them clothes. So the middle of this piece is here. Grandma's hands went to church on Sunday morning. Grandma's hands lift me up sometimes. And oh, I don't know the words. Why am I even singing? Because I want to. Okay. You know how they talk about babies being self-soothing? I'm still self-soothing, self-entertaining myself. Hey, Miss Joyce, how you doing, Chug? Ouch. So now that I stuck myself on that block, see this block? It's actually the middle of a seam. But unbiased, this is where I'm going to put an embroidered piece with the name Grandma's Hands on this quilt. I guess I'll have to make the font pretty small, Grandma's Hands. But I'll figure it out. I will figure it out. So we're putting these two pieces on. There's the middle of the piece. There's the middle. That's the right side. We're putting it right sides together. So the 2 pins in the middle, I'm going to match up right now. I'm going to put a 3rd pin just for giggles and kicks. Lorraine T, did I say hi, sweetie? Hola, hermana. See, you could be sitting right here. You know, I'm going to tell her business. I tried to get Lorraine to move over here. Cassandra, South Fulton. Thanks for coming and welcome, welcome, welcome. I tried to get because Lorraine T's mom has a house not too far from here. I tried to get Lorraine to move back to Connecticut near her mama, near me and Yankee's sister, not too far from some others that are in the Northeast. So I'm going to live dangerously. I'm going to pin both of these sides instead of pinning one at a time so that I can't stick myself. Thank you, Donzel. Donzel, do you have any quilts, or how many of you have family members who have quilted and you have inherited a quilt? I wonder what's going to happen to my quilts when I'm gone. My sister Joanne, oh my gosh, my sister, my baby sister Della, my sister Joanne and I are closer in age. I'm about 8 years older than my baby sister. She was here last Saturday, or last Thursday, rather, after my live stream, and she was throwing shade on my sister Joanne, and she said, "Well, how many quilts does Joanne have?" I'm like, "Well, Joanne takes care of her quilts, and Joanne will do this. She'll see me working on something, or you see, she's always in the chat here, so she knows what I'm working on. We work on things together. Some of the things I work on at her house when I'm there, right?" So Della said, "Well, how many quilts does Joanne have?" I'm like, "I don't know. But more than anybody in the family, I know that. I know that. Everybody knows that." Oh, Donald, so you don't have any quilts? How many? How many? I love to see men quilting. I have so many friends, male friends, like in North Carolina, when I belonged to quilt guilds, because they grew up with their grandmothers quilting. And you know what? In some places, that was how you kept warm. You couldn't, there was no, maybe you could go to Sears and Roebuck back in the day and get a quilt. You got quilts by using leftover clothes, leftover pants, leftover overalls, old sheets. That's what you use to keep warm. And a lot of people still do. Like the quilting police, Deb S will tell you, they'll tell you, no, don't use sheets for backing. You know what I say? Use what you have. Use what you have and stay warm. Keep your family warm. And you don't have to put it in their stinking show anyway. Anyway, I've been in places where I was volunteering for some of the quilt guilds, and some of the quilt snobs were talking about G's Ben quilts that were on display at Yale University nearby. And they were saying, "Oh, did you see those quilts? Ew, they call that quilting? That's not quilting. That's a mess." Oh, they were just beating those quilts up. I tell you what, those primitive, old school G's Ben's quilts sell for more than most modern quilts. Even the quilts in Pennsylvania and those old hand stitched quilts. Your mother was a quilter who gifted all of her kids and grandkids quilts. You inherited several. Oh, you what a blessing for you, Mrs. D. Well, let me say this, you guys, because what our grandparents did not do, they didn't put labels on them. Mrs. D, you use what you have, Peg Mama. Good for you. Good for you. And poo poo on the quilt police. We're part of the I don't care club. The I don't care club. I've followed all the rules for many years. right, all right, all right. Oh, I'm loving this. Loving this. I can't wait until I get the embroidered name on it. So this top piece has all these extra seams. The bottom one is flat. I'm using a straight stitch. 3 millimeters in length and 0 millimeters in width. A couple of these seams are pressed open. The rest are just pressed to one side, whichever side I was working on at the time. Oh, I love this. And you know what? It'll fit on that wall. This wall over here, that's my movable gallery. I don't have any room to put big quilts up here. So that wall will hold, that rack will hold a quilt, a small quilt that's, let's say 30 inches or 30, or I can like gather it up a little and force it to fit. Okay. Not using a stylus over these thick areas. I'm using my fingers. Mike, I know he likes this new seam where it's right up close. Okay. Let me try one thing. I know I say stop it, stop it. I'm going to leave it. I was going to take this out, but I'm going to leave it because I don't want to get knocked offline again. I thought you could see me better. Is that better? Yeah. And I will put it like that. It's okay if you don't see my face, right? I want you to see what I'm sewing. Making sure there are no pins under there. Okay. Gonna flip the seam this way. Because that's the way I ironed it. One thing in quilting, you end up doing a lot of pressing. A lot. I see this long string from somewhere. Long threads drive me crazy. Of all the things I've ever lost, I miss my mind the most. That's a joke. Auntie Joanne and I saw a bumper sticker, a book like that once that said that. Uh-oh. Something funny is going on. Oh. Nothing funny is going on. I didn't see the thread. But the times are changing already. You notice it's getting darker faster already? So now I have to sew this one side. It's already pinned. So this is going to be fast. And okay. Ouch. So I just stuck myself, but not very hard. My mother says this is why she never quilted. Fancy Pants mommy didn't like getting stuck. So she never sewed by hand. Now she does all the embroidery. No, grandma, her mother did the embroidery, but mommy liked to crochet and knit. Knit. Okay. Mother, I'm not talking about you, Mom. I'm making her some shrimp and grits tomorrow and some spinach, some fresh spinach. She probably won't eat it, And I'm going to make her some jello with fruit in it. And how many how many of y'all allegedly are the brown squares made of jeans? No, unbiased. The brown ones were leftover pieces of something I had, but I do know that it was the Kona heavy cotton. There were pieces left over from something I had, and I just stuck them in there. Was light to 9, now 8. You know, some special quilts, Bar Brownlee. Wow. You keep calling your peeps up there, but there's no. Oh. I I will talk to you about that, and because maybe you'd be better off emailing. Yeah. For some reason, we have a tenants group here. Guess who they elected to be the vice president? Jags J3GS. How you doing? Look at Jags. Look at this fermented honey and garlic, Jags. I would love to get some of yours, but and I ain't begging, but oh, the postage is crazy. I sent one box out last week. I think it was $30 or $35. Oh my goodness. So right here, there's 3 pins all gathered up together. So I know that that's the middle of both sides. And I pinned it to make sure that it came out that way. I don't even know if my grandmother's had street pins. You know what? I do remember sewing my. We had some of the people that came to my classes when I was teaching arts and crafts. They would come. I call suicide pins. I would throw them away. The little short pins that used to use for making clothes with the little metal pins, the little metal heads. I never could see those as an adult. As an adult, whenever they came in my class, I would throw those things away because the last thing you want to do with a quilt is to sew a pin inside and have it stab somebody, a senior or a child or just anybody. That would be awful, awful, awful. So I'm ready. Ouch. Stuck myself again, not badly. But just so that you know, if you ever stick yourself, the only thing that removes blood is peroxide or your own saliva. Sounds disgusting. Much face. Wanted to try some of his honey, but the postage is too much. I know. I know. I know. One day, Jags, if I'm ever riding through Georgia and one never knows, do one, I will stop. I turn those scissors around. Quick story. I was in the kitchen one day and I have some sharp KitchenAid shears. I lost them out in the garden. I dropped them over the fence. I said I'll get them the next time I go there. And somebody else got there first and I never got them back. I just bought some. But I was in the kitchen and I had the sharp scissors. They fell on the floor and stabbed me in my foot, the top of my foot, pretty bad. When I went to the foot doctor like weeks later, I go like every 4 to 6 weeks because they have a nail technician that does the same things that you get at the salon. Oh, look at this, you guys. And it stabbed my foot all up. So ta-da. Now I have to make a decision and I need your opinion, please. So I'm going to turn this around so that you can see more of it. Okay. It's not pressed yet, but look at this. One pin over there. So I have, what I want you to see is this. Maybe I'll try to finger press it down a little bit so that you can make a better judgment. Okay, so let me just, my wooden press is over there where I used to sit. Okay, I'm gonna finger press this. There's a small pin somewhere. Okay. Okay, just 1 second because I really want to get a vote on this last piece. I don't have a piece long enough right now, but I will cut it. Okay, so 3 sides of this has denim around the edges. Yep, so I think I already see this dark one, these, they're all different sizes and colors. So I'm going to add one on this side. Well, what size do I need? It's not cut already, so I won't do it today. I have one cut, but it's not long enough. I'm pretty sure of that. This one, I can look at it and see it's too short. So, well, let me see. Set the blind man. Yeah, this one's 27. And this piece, let's see. Oops. No, it's only 23. But I have a section. So, except for the name Grandma's Hands on here and putting that one last seam. So, we added these today, you guys. Up there, Grandma's Hands waving, black hand waving. Hello, 755. Hand pink waving. Well, we're waving these hands, and I will put a piece of denim on the other side, log cabin style, and here is where I'm going to embroider the name Grandma's Hands. So I know what, I'll show it to you. Here's one half, and here is the other half. Hold on, I'll show it to you so that you can see it. So, it's a quilt design. This is what they call an improvisational quilt, meaning it's totally improvised, totally made up. Even the part I planned that I was going to do tonight didn't come out the way that I planned it, but it's going to be a nice quilt. I can't wait to put it up in that little corner up there. Grandma's Hands. And then when I do a video of it, I'll put Grandma's Hands. That song by Bill Withers, I thought that was nice. So, you guys, do you have any questions? Did I miss anything that I should have been answering? If so, I apologize. I'm going to the bottom of the chat now. Denim quilt design, beautiful. Thanks. Gotta run. Thank you, Deb S. I'm all in the bushes watching you guys. 755, watch you too. Miss Joyce, thank you. And thank you for being a friends and family member, channel member. Your name is in green. And so, Mother Ego Amote in American Sign Language means I love you. Let me see if demo. Nope, I'm not touching that. I'm not touching that. I used to have a song. A song. It says my music, but then they kick you out and do other stuff to you. So we're not going to bother with that. We're happy with what we have. And thank you. Thank you. Thank you. In American Sign Language, this is an I. This is an L. This is a U. And this is how I say I love you in American Sign Language. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate you. See you Thursday at 4 p.m. And hopefully, I will have my new embroidery frame. I mean, my new quilting frame up. I will put my embroidery machine on the same table now that I have a separate table to do that.